I have some really exciting news today. The housing market in northern Colorado has finally slowed down. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know everyone who was either buying or selling this year, or was even just had friends buying or selling this year, got to hear how hectic the summer of 2021 was for buying a home. And for me, this is a big deal because this year I worked with specifically buyers here in northern Colorado buying a home or helping them buy a home. And it's something that I want to bring up because I know a lot of people have been wondering and thinking about, well, where are we at now? What is the housing market doing now? And so please, if you guys could like, subscribe, share this. If you guys have questions, leave it down at the bottom. But other than that, my name is Connor Martin. I work with Sukup Real Estate Services here in northern Colorado, specifically Fort Collins, Colorado. And I love bringing these videos to you all about Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, Berthoud, and everything on the above, because I think it's great to be informed, especially being an out-of-state person or even being an in-state person that's not around this area or lives on the south side. Might want to jump on and just try and jump on and find some information about Loveland, Colorado, what's there to do, what's fun, what's important about Loveland, what you should know, what are the dislikes about Loveland. And those are all the type of videos I like bringing to you guys so that you guys can, you know, at least get someone's opinion on it and know that it's something that, you know, hopefully some people are thinking about and trying to bring the information to you so that you have a good idea that it's, you know, something that if you ever want to move here, it's something that might be worthwhile. So the reason why I say the housing market has finally slowed down is because here in 2021, especially during the summer times between June through August, everybody was buying homes for over asking price. And, you know, buying a home like maybe $5,000 over or even $10,000 over isn't like too crazy, but this year was a year out of its own where people were paying $60,000 to $100,000 more to purchase a home or to compete in the market, and having to pay for that out of pocket, and having enough people there to make it so competitive to where it gets up to, you know, $80,000. So the reason why that was kind of occurring and why I think we had such a surge here in Colorado, but just in general over the United States, because I know this has happened in plenty of other towns and states around these areas, is that we have a lot of people that were finally able to move away from work. They were looking to get away from other people. They were able to go virtual. And those were just some of the changes that COVID brought, I believe, to our housing market here in 2021, and created this surge of people moving with a lot of money that were looking for a place just a little bit further away from people, out of town, where they had their own space. And lovely Colorado was one of the lucky places that got to feel it and got to see it. And so here's kind of the down low of what happened, at least through June through August. So homes were going for between 20 to 80K over asking price. You could probably put it in at the idea that it was roughly around, you know, maybe 10% over asking price, maybe 15% over asking price at max, for those very rare homes that were in the perfect price point with the right features that everyone was looking for. And to me, that just hurts. You know, it's no fun as a buyer going out there and thinking that you're going to be spending, you know, potentially 80K over what that house is technically worth in the market now, based off of all the other homes that sold, and knowing that you're going to have to pay, you know, out of pocket with an appraisal gap to cover it so that your mortgage company would even lend on a house like that. And then on top of that, as the market got even more competitive because there were more people starting to do just the cash side, is that they also brought in the idea of having no inspections. And to me, moving into a house with no inspections, you know, can be okay, you know, on these newer homes. But once you get to homes that are, you know, built back in the 80s, the 70s, the 1900s, you start getting into problems that you would most likely want to know about. And at least you can go out and get an inspection, but you can definitely guarantee that that seller is not going to give a dime out to help you fix anything. So that was the second part of the summer of having to deal with homes. And then the third part was just not having the best inventory. What I kind of saw this year is that there were some homes out there that were, you know, good quality homes that had the features that you wanted, and, you know, that were something that you could really use efficiently. But those homes were the ones that were going for premium prices. The other homes that I was seeing were kind of the straggler homes, the homes that I hadn't really seen in a long time. You know, I knew they sold, I know they were selling, but I think I saw a lot more of them this year than I did see in 2020. And the reason why? Because why wouldn't you want to try and get out of your home that you've owned for X amount of years, either as a rental or as your first home, and you're sitting there saying, well, dang, this is the best time to sell because I can go out there and get maybe a little bit different of a home for, you know, and be able to sell this home potentially for more money and try and do something like that. And so I kind of felt like I was starting to see a lot of rental homes coming up because of the price point, you know, investors cashing out on this amazing market that we've had. Also saw that, you know, there were, because of 2020, there were some issues with the rental market, you know, with people not paying their rents, you know, landlords having to pay out of pocket to do all these things to keep those homes as rentals and to be able to keep tenants happy. And so that's something that, you know, really affected this market and changed it for, you know, it's not the good or the best or the worst. It's more the idea it just changed. And we all had to adapt to it. And so for me, you know, I'm so happy to finally get to be able to tell you guys that the market's finally changed. Appraisal gaps are going away. You're not having to go in with escalation clause over X amount of dollars because you're thinking you're going to have 8 to 10 people bidding on it. And you're not going to have to deal with it as much, even though here in northern Colorado, especially Loveland, our inventory has been low. So for example, and this is kind of a little bit where I'm pulling my information from, is I've had some good clients over the summer. Every single one of them was from out of state. I had some people from New Mexico, Missouri, Chicago, Florida, Texas. So it ranged from all over the place. And from each and every single one that I heard about, each one said that their state is just going bonkers with sales, and that it is something that is continuing in those areas. In that a lot of them were wanting to get out of the house. They were wanting to get out of that state, and they were looking to move to a place that was a little cheaper and maybe having a little more space, more activities, more recreations, more things that you get to go outside to versus inside because of COVID and having to wear a mask. Because no matter what your opinion is on masks, I can almost guarantee you that everybody thinks that they aren't that great to wear. They're not fun to wear for 10 hours a day. And so being inside somewhere working 10 hours a day or going to the movie theater on it with a mask just makes it a little less enjoyable for everybody. And so for me, you know, I sit there and say, it's like, yeah, I would probably move too. If I had the funds and the sources to be able to go out and buy a little acreage and be able to go enjoy myself, that's really what I would enjoy doing. But it's something that, you know, only a few people were able to do this summer because of how crazy it was. Other people had to wait until now to purchase a home because they couldn't compete in this market. And so now that we're here, I have some new clients that I've been working with and that were looking in the summertime and kind of, you know, I think made a good choice and held off from purchasing, you know, a home because it just wasn't the right time. And now they're starting to get the benefits of waiting, because here in September, October, and probably through the winter, things are slowing down. There are less homes on the market, but there are also less people looking for homes as well. And so homes are starting to sit on the market now for at least 7 days before they get a contract on it. There are more that are out there as well that are sitting for 20 days, 15 days. And so it's finally the point where you as a buyer can go in and start negotiating with these sellers and saying, hey, you know, I know this property is a great property, but we're looking to sit here and say, if we really look at the market value of this home, that, you know, it's really around X amount of dollars. And so we would like to offer that. And then you get to actually go in and negotiate with them, and then typically you end off somewhere in the middle. You know, and so that is the nice part. You feel like as a buyer, you're starting to get a little more savings. You're not having to compete with extra people. But I'm not going to lie, there are still a few homes that are, you know, going for over asking price. I've seen a few that I looked at just recently that were going for still $10,000 to $15,000 over. Those price ranges were probably more in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. Those were definitely the ones that you saw where people are still competing, where there's, instead of 10 bids, you're probably getting maybe 1 or 2 bids, to where you're not having to compete with so many different people and so many different offers. And to me, that makes life really nice. I think that makes it to where you at least have a higher chance, and a realtor can go out there and tell you get the higher chance too, because it's like, well, we just have to compete with one person, and the realtors on the other side are going to be somewhat honest, saying, hey, their offer's a little over asking or close to it, and so this is somewhat where you need to be able to compete. And, you know, I'm starting to finally get where my clients are able to win their first contracts. I'm now 4 for 4, which is for these last couple months. And I'm going to say it's a good feeling, because back in the summer, June, July, I was going for at least a few of my clients, 1 for 11, 1 for 6. So we won 1 contract out of 6 other homes we put offers on. And for me, it's a calming feeling. It's less stressful, especially when people are going out and selling their home, and then they have X amount of days to find a new one before they can move, and so there's a time crunch on it. And so if you're looking to, if you're having to do that process, it's becoming a lot easier to find homes here. Again, you're still getting some of those straggler homes, but every once in a while you get those really nice ones that pop up, and there's not as many people out there looking right now. And so for me, I think that's great news here for buyers. I think we're finally coming to a more equilibrium of a market, for at least temporary, as of September 21st, 2021. And for me, I think it is something, if you're looking to go out and purchase a home right now, it's a good time to maybe just start looking, seeing what prices are looking like. If you're wanting to get in contact with a realtor, definitely do so. I think it's well worth it. It's well worth at least just keeping your finger and pulse on the market, to keep watching it and which way it goes. And if it continues this way, I will definitely be bringing another market update so that you guys can be posted on that, so you guys can see it. If it goes up again, I will definitely also inform you on that side and tell you, hey, stuff is going up again. But that is kind of it for my video. It was kind of a relaxed video today. I wasn't really going out there and, you know, gonna give a bunch of information kind of like my other videos are. It's just more me cruising around today and just kind of informing you on what the market's kind of doing right now. And just to let you know, for the last time, the market is finally slowing down, and I can't wait to be able to keep working with buyers in this market and getting to work with sellers in this market, because in the end, everybody else is going to be more happy at the end, because it becomes more of a win-win at the end of it. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to these videos. I hope they do help. If you guys ever have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. If you could like and share, that'd be great also. But thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next week.